Every single morning, thousands of professional athletes, tech executives, and wellness enthusiasts willingly immerse themselves in freezing water. It is promoted everywhere as the ultimate routine for health and vitality. But the moment that freezing water hits human skin, the body does not interpret the experience as a relaxing wellness ritual. It registers an immediate, violent threat to its survival. Within milliseconds of exposure, rapid nerve signals shoot from the surface of the skin directly to the brainstem, triggering the autonomic nervous system. This is the network responsible for regulating your involuntary bodily functions. The brain demands immediate warmth, and the body complies by launching into full panic mode. You gasp for air, your breathing rate accelerates, your heart races to pump blood, and your blood pressure spikes rapidly as your vessels constrict to conserve heat. This sudden, massive strain on the heart is exactly why doctors warn people with pre-existing cardiac or circulatory conditions to steer clear of the practice. For a compromised cardiovascular system, that severe spike in blood pressure is a dangerous, potentially life-threatening event. All of this presents a serious physiological contradiction. If submerging yourself in ice water places such extreme stress on the heart and blood vessels, why is it scientifically prescribed as a way to improve your physical health? The answer comes down to biological adaptation. When a healthy, uncompromised cardiovascular system is forced to handle that sudden rush of stress, the dynamic completely changes. This graph tracks the exact timeline of that cardiovascular danger zone. Notice the massive blood pressure spike at immersion. In a healthy adult, it takes exactly 4 minutes for that curve to drop back to a normal baseline. During those 4 minutes, the heart is being forced to work at peak capacity. It is effectively undergoing a highly condensed, heavy weightlifting session, contracting and pumping rapidly against constricted vessels. By forcing that intense surge of blood through the body, the heart physically strengthens its own pumping mechanism. It builds the capacity to push blood more efficiently, resulting in a lasting improvement to your overall everyday circulation. That upgraded blood flow carries immediate secondary benefits. For athletes, rushing oxygen-rich blood accelerates muscle recovery after training. On the surface, the cold exposure reduces oxidative stress and inflammation, visibly improving the health of the skin. The initial cardiovascular shock provides the exact mechanical trigger required to build a stronger circulatory system. While the heart pumps harder, the autonomic nervous system simultaneously floods the brain with norepinephrine. This chemical release is a direct response to the physiological shock, instantly shifting the body from a resting state into a high-intensity survival mode. This surge in norepinephrine forces the brain into a state of acute alertness. Studies show that adults bathing in just 68-degree water for 5 minutes exhibit sharp increases in energy, focus, and concentration as the brain prioritizes immediate sensory processing. Researchers are now applying this neurological reset in clinical by habitually regulating these stress chemicals. The physical exertion required to manage this chemical spike also aids recovery later in the day. Runners who practice whole-body cold immersion show significantly reduced limb movement during early sleep phases, leading directly to longer, more efficient periods of deep sleep. The immune system responds to this repeated stress by building higher resilience. In a study of over 3,000 adults, the group that took a daily cold shower for 30 days reported 29% fewer sick days. Researchers believe the brief, regular stress of cold exposure effectively conditions the immune system to respond more effectively to pathogens. Enduring acute physical stress acts as a rigorous training camp for your internal systems. It forces the mind to hold sharp focus under pressure and trains the immune system to maintain a high state of readiness. Cold therapy is a deliberate method for administering controlled doses of adversity to strengthen the body's baseline state. To utilize that tool safely, you have to follow strict clinical parameters. Most research relies on water temperatures kept precisely between 50 and 59 degrees Fahrenheit. Time in the water must also be highly regulated. Experts recommend starting with a brief 5-minute exposure and capping the session at an absolute maximum of 10 minutes to safely trigger the physical benefits. And you have to monitor your body's panic signals. If you experience persistent dizziness, severe numbness in your limbs, difficulty breathing, or a racing heartbeat, the cardiovascular strain has peaked, and you need to exit the water immediately. Cold plunging relies on respecting these physical boundaries. By willingly enduring 4 minutes of intense cardiovascular discomfort, you can unlock a measurable increase in immunity, focus, and circulatory strength.